Richie, in terms of Pochettino, loads of very interesting articles and indeed a book written about him in recent times, and lots of comment about the sort of coach he is and the way he looks after the players and all that sort of thing. But one of the things that I've read about him today was no matter what happens in a game, he comes up with a plan, and no matter what happens, he won't change the plan. Now, was that what happened? Did that impress you hugely with what happened in the first game, that they didn't change the plan and didn't panic?
And you asked a moment ago about whether they need to win a trophy, and we're discussing around, the development of the team, and the words brave and mature have been used a lot in the build-up to describe this Tottenham team, I think by the manager and some of the players as well, and how they responded to going 2 down in a place like Juventus in the first leg was so impressive, because to succeed, you're not going to have it all the way throughout an entire tournament, and you've got to show in moments of real adversity that you're prepared to play the way the manager has sent you out to play. And there was no shirking of responsibility at all from these players. All this footage we're going to show is from the 10th moment when they conceded the second goal to about the half-hour mark. They just all stood up, all wanted the ball. They were not only patient on the ball, but they were zipping it into each other with pace and real purpose, always probing for the opening. If it wasn't on, they were prepared to shift the play. So it was a really professional, kind of brave, strong performance. And I think if you're trying to analyse the potential of teams, how far can they go in the tournament, you look at all the aspects, the tactical side of things, the individual brilliance, but character matters. And I think this performance and this response that this Tottenham team gave in the first leg, I think displayed a hell of a lot. And there's been question marks over, not this particular group of players, but Tottenham as a club in previous years. The famous, team talk, lads, it's Tottenham, from Alex Ferguson. I don't think these players can be put in that category at all. They responded so well, deservedly got level, and it was one of the standout performances of the first leg. After watching that first leg, this was the second leg tie I was most looking forward to.
So, Damien, how has Pochettino done that with this group?
Well, what he's done, I think you have to say, is night and day since he's taken over from Tim Sherwood in 2014. And that's no disrespect to Tim. I love Tim. He used to clean his boots, but a long time ago.
Line.
Yeah, but night and day. Like, I remember that team. That would have been maybe the Spurs teams that Fergie would have took an aim at. But listen, he's obviously a top manager. Like, we're talking about winning trophies under pressure. I think Spurs would be under pressure to keep him, because let's say Zidane, if he went, 1,000,000% Real be after him. Paris Saint-Germain after last night's shambles, 1,000,000% to be after Pochettino. So I think more Spurs will be lucky to keep hold of him, because he's a top coach and a top manager.
What do you think of him, Didi?
Outstanding what he's done there. It's a tough thing to win, because there's a lot of big teams still in the competition, but I think they've got a chance. I think over 2 legs, what he's built there in the 3 or 4 years he's there as a team. We saw Paris yesterday, players doing their own thing. Now this is a team, they're not the most talented side left in the competition, but I think they're most together. And when you've got a solid defence, they've got a good goalkeeper. They've done this in the last 3 or 4 months without Alderweireld, who's been out. So he's got Sanchez there at the back, Vertonghen, he's got in Dyer, he's got a decent holding midfielder. And he's got a strong unit where everybody works. They lost Kyle Walker, Trippier comes in, Danny Rose was messing about. He wasn't sure whether he should go or should stay. Well, you stay out there. Ben Davies is going to play. He does a job for the team, and I think this is they've got a culture. I think they've got values in the club, and I think he created this in the 3 or 4 years he's been there. And when you play them, you know you're in for a game. They won't roll over. You won't turn them over easily. And every time you play against Spurs, I think you've got a game on your hands. And this is why I think today they do a job and go to the quarterfinal.